Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalang Sri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunath Tanvitam Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devang Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitangscha Krishna 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 Hey Krishna 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 Hey Krishna 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 Rakshama Krishna 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 Pahima Rama Raghava Rama Raghava Rakshama Krishna Keshava Krishna Keshava Krishna Keshava Pahima Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasa Adigo Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haraye Nama Krishna, Yadavaya Namaha, Gopala Govinda Rama, Sri Madhusudana. Om Apavitra Pavitro Va, Sarva Avastangatopi Va, Yat Smaret Pundarika Akshang, Sabhaya Abhyantara Suchihi. Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu. Om Ajnana Timarandasya, Gyan Anjana Shalakaya, Chakshur Militang Yena, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Mukam Karoti Vachalang, Pangung Langhayate Girim, Yat Kripatamahang Vande, Sri Gurum Dinataranam, Yat Kripatamahang Vande, Parama Ananda Madhavam. Trinadapi Sunichena, Tarar Iva Sahishnuna, Amanina Manatena, Kirtaniya Sadahari. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Eva Kevalam. Kalo Nastyeva, Nastyeva, Nastyeva Gatir Anyata. Guru Mukha Padmavakya, Chitete Koriya Aikya, Arna Koriho Mane Ash. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Blessings on my sincere students who come on time. You get extra blessings today. So, today we're going to do several things. Since you are the first, you will get the special nectar. These last, starting on Monday, we had Ekadasi. Then yesterday we had Vamana Dwadasi. Today is the appearance day of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And tomorrow is the disappearance of Srila Haridas Thakur. So this week is chock full of auspiciousness. So, because you came early, or shall I say on time, as opposed to those who come late with their excuses, you get the special nectar that I usually reserve to the end. But let's do you first. So a little bit about 3 of these special holy days. First, we will hear about Vamana Avatar, which you see in the picture. There is Bali Maharaj, and behind him is his spiritual master, Shukra Acharya, and then sitting on that red throne is Lord Vamana. So let's hear a little bit about Lord Vamana. Chalayasi Vikramane Balim Adbhuta Vamana Padanakanira Janita Janapavana Keshavadrita Vamana Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Keshavadrita Trivikrama Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Keshavadrita Urukrama Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare. So this is part of the Dasha Avatar Stotram, composed by Jayadev Goswami as the introduction to his most wonderful work, Gita Govinda. And this is the fifth. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, you have assumed the form of a dwarf Brahmana. All glories to you. O wonderful dwarf, by your massive steps, you deceived King Bali, and by the Ganga water, which has emanated from the nails of your lotus feet, you deliver all the living beings within this world. In the second canto, Lord Brahma explains to his favorite son, Narada, all about the scheduled incarnations of the Lord, generally referred to as Leela Avatar. And in the course of that narration, there are two verses which Lord Brahma explained about Vamana. Jayan Gunair Avaro Pi Adite Sutanang Lokand Vichakrama Iman Yad Athadi Yagya Shmang Vamanena Jagrihe Tripada Chalena Yachnam Rite Pati Charan Prabhubir Nachalya. The Lord, although transcendental to all material modes, still surpassed all the qualities of the sons of Aditi, known as the Adityas. The Lord appeared as the youngest son of Aditi. And because Vamanadev surpassed all the planets of the universe, he must be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. On the pretense of asking for a measurement of 3 footsteps of land, Vamanadev took away all the lands of Bali Maharaj. Vamanadev asked simply because, without begging, no authority can take away one's rightful possession. Nartho Balir Ayam Urukrama Pada Shaucham Apashika Dhrutavato Vibud Tadipatyam Yovai Pratishrutam Rite Nachikirshad Anyad Atmanam Anga Manasa Haraye Abhimene. Bali Maharaj, who put on his head the water washed from the lotus feet of the Lord, did not think anything besides his promise, in spite of being forbidden by his spiritual master, Shukra Acharya. King Bali dedicated his own personal body just to fulfill the measurement of the Lord's third step. For such a personality, even the kingdom of heaven, which Bali conquered by his strength, was of no value. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So now we go to today's celebration, which is known as the Appearance Day of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And here we have it from Prabhupada's works. Let's see. Namo Bhaktivinodaya Sachid Ananda Namane Goda Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Sachid Ananda Bhaktivinod, who is personified transcendental energy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is a strict and revealed follower of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, headed by Srila Rupa Goswami. And now tomorrow, we will celebrate the disappearance of Haridas Thakur. And there is a nice summary found in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And what you see behind me is the famous incident where Haridas Thakur was tempted by Maya Devi herself. And Haridas Thakur passed the examination, and Maya Devi became the disciple of Haridas Thakur. Hari Bol. So let's hear what Prabhupada writes in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. The 20th branch of the Chaitanya tree was Haridas Thakur. His character was wonderful. Haridas used to chant the holy name of Krishna 300,000 times a day without fail. You know how many rounds that is? That's 192 rounds every day. As Prabhupada would always tell us, you cannot imitate Haridas Thakur. Prabhupada goes on. There was no end to the transcendental qualities of Srila Haridas Thakur. Here, Krishna-das Kaviraj mentions but a fraction of his qualities. Haridas was so exalted that Advaita Acharya, when performing the Shraddha ceremony for his father, offered Haridas the first plate even though he was not born Hindu. Neither was he a Brahmin. Haridas was Musulman. But yet, Advaita Acharya offered him the first plate, recognizing him as being the topmost devotee of the Lord. The waves of Haridas's good qualities were just like those of Prahlad Maharaj. Why? Haridas did not even slightly raise an eyebrow when persecuted by the Muslim ruler. And after the passing away of Haridas Thakur, Lord Chaitanya himself took the body of Haridas on his lap and danced with it in great ecstasy. Here is Prabhupada's purport. So all those verses were from the Chaitanya Charitamrita by Krishna-das Kaviraj. Here is Prabhupada's purport. Certainly the chanting of 300,000 holy names of the Lord is wonderful. No ordinary person can chant so many names, nor should one artificially imitate Haridas Thakur's behavior. However, it is essential that everyone fulfill a specific vow to chant the Hare Krishna mantra. Therefore, we have prescribed in our ISKCON society that all of our students must chant at least 16 rounds of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra every day. At the same time, such chanting must be offenseless in order to be of high quality. Otherwise, mechanical chanting is not as powerful as chanting of the holy names without offense. It is stated in the Chaitanya Bhagavat that Haridas Thakur was born in a village known as Budan, but after some time, Haridas came to live on the bank of the Ganga at Fulia, which was near Shantipur, the home of Advaita Acharya. And from the description of Haridas's chastisement by a Muslim magistrate, we can understand how humble and meek Haridas Thakur was, and how Haridas achieved the causeless mercy of Sriman Mahaprabhu. In dramas performed by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Haridas Thakur would play the part of a police chief. While chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra in Benapola, Haridas was personally tested by Maya Devi herself. Haridas Thakur's passing away is described in the Antya Leela of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So the story of Haridas initiating Durga Mata is that 3 days Durga Mata came to the cave where Haridas Thakur was chanting. And it is described by Krishnadas Kaviraj that Durga Devi would present so many feminine postures, nobody would be able to resist except for Haridas Thakur. And after 3 days of her coming in the dead of night, testing Haridas, she paid her obeisances to Haridas Thakur, and she said, I have bewildered everyone in this universe except for you. From my husband, I received the holy name of Ram. But now from you, I want the name of Krishna. And Durga Mata said, right now, because of Lord Chaitanya, there's a flood of love of God. And Maya Devi said, anyone who is not delivered by this flood of love of Godhead, inaugurated by Lord Chaitanya, will not be delivered for millions of kalpas or days of Brahma. Not to worry. I'm not trying to scare you. We are included because Prabhupada writes in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that ISKCON is a branch of the Chaitanya tree. So if we stay attached to this ISKCON movement, if we stay attached to Lord Chaitanya, and we stay attached to Prabhupada, and if we stay attached to this Krishna book class, we will be delivered. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So now we will resume our Krishna book class. Is everything still good? Are we happy? Right. We got the blessings of Vamana Dev, Bhakti Vinod, Haridas. Now we will get the blessings of Prabhupada by meditating on Guru Mukha Padma Vakya, the words emanating from the lotus mouth of Srila Prabhupada. By the way, this Krishna book was composed by Prabhupada in 1969 here in Beverly Hills. Prabhupada was given a private apartment so that he could simply dedicate himself to translating, and every morning Prabhupada would be delivered from Beverly Hills to the temple. I don't think it was Watsika yet, because Watsika was 1970, so it must have been the La Cienega Temple in LA. So thanks to, I'm pretty sure it was Gargamuni, he arranged that Prabhupada would have his own apartment in Beverly Hills and he could simply translate. And thank God, because Prabhupada gave us this Krishna book. And in 1970, George Harrison of the Beatles gave Prabhupada $19,000 to publish the first book. At that time, there were two, Volume 1 and Volume 2. So that first one was sponsored by George Harrison. And Prabhupada blessed George Harrison for giving that donation to cover the cost of publication. All right, let's go to Krishna book. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This scene number 22 is entitled Haring Vina Na Ritim Taranti. The personified Vedas continued to offer prayers. O dear Lord Krishna, it is our conclusion that all living entities are attracted by your material energy, and only due to their mistakenly identifying themselves as products of the material nature are they transmigrating from one kind of body to another only because of forgetfulness of their eternal relationship with you. Because of ignorance, these living entities are misidentifying themselves in different species of life, and especially when they are elevated to the human form of life, they identify with the particular class of men or a particular nation or race or so-called religion, forgetting their real identity as eternal servants of your Lordship. Due to this faulty conception of life, the living entities are undergoing repeated birth and death. Out of many millions of them, if one becomes intelligent enough by association with pure devotees, he or she comes to the understanding of Krishna consciousness and thus comes out of the jurisdiction of the material misconception. Now, Prabhupada comments on what we just heard from the personified Vedas. Prabhupada writes, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is confirmed by Lord Chaitanya, Brahmanda Brahmate Kona Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Bhai Bhakti Lata Bij. The living entities are wandering within this universe in different species of life. But if one of them becomes intelligent or fortunate enough by the mercy of the spiritual master and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, then he or she begins one's devotional life in Krishna consciousness. Many times when Prabhupada would cite this verse that we just heard, it's a famous verse by Lord Chaitanya in his instructions to Rupa Goswami, Prabhupada would stress that it is the combined mercy of Guru and Krishna. If one simply thinks that it's the mercy of the Guru or it's the mercy of Krishna, Prabhupada says, no, they are mistaken. It's the combined mercy of both Guru and Krishna that one gets or regains or reawakens their spiritual life. Prabhupada now continues. It is said in the Vedas, Haring Vina Na Mritim Taranti. Without the help of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one cannot get out of the clutches of repeated birth and death. In other words, only the Supreme Lord, the Personality of Godhead, can relieve the conditioned souls from the cycle of repeated birth and death. I have written my own additional purport to explain this section. I pray that it is pleasing and encouraging. This is what I want to add. This last paragraph is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Daivihi esha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mam eva ye prapadyante mayam etang taranti te. This divine transcendental energy of Krishna, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is most difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto Krishna can easily cross beyond it. Furthermore, in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Sutta Goswami says, Evang griheshu saktanang pramattanang tad ihaya atyat kramad avigyata kala paramat dustara. Insurmountable eternal time, being Krishna's representative in the material realm, imperceptibly overcomes those who are too much attached to family affairs and are always engrossed in their thought. As reference to this statement, this is in connection with Dhritarashtra. When Vidura, after the battle of Kurukshetra, returned to the kingdom of Hastinapur, he came with only one intention. He wanted to deliver his brother from nescience. And so we read in the first canto how Vidura spoke to Dhritarashtra, chastising him once again and telling him that now your death is imminent. All the signs were there. So now you should leave home, take sannyas, and prepare for the final examination of death. And now, finally, after so many attempts, Vidura was actually able to penetrate Dhritarashtra's hard heart. And without informing anyone, Dhritarashtra left home, and of course, his ever-faithful wife followed him. Gandhari followed him, and he gave up his body in mystic meditation. Let us continue in my additional purport. In the second canto, Lord Brahma informed his best son, Narada, Yeshang sa esha Bhagavan jayayed ananta sarvatmanashrita pado yadi nirvyalikam te dustaram atitaranti chadeva mayang naishang mamaham iti di shva shrigala bhakshye. O Narada, unto those only who are specifically favored by the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, due to unalloyed surrender unto the service of the Lord, can one overcome the insurmountable ocean of illusion and thus understand Krishna. But those who are attached to the body, which is meant to be eaten at the end by dogs and jackals, cannot do this surrender. In the third canto, Devahuti confessed to her husband, Kardamamuni, with these words, Sahang Bhagavato Nunang Vanchita Mayaya Dridham Yatvang Vimuktinang Prapya Namumuksheya Bandhanat. My Lord, surely I have been solidly cheated by the insurmountable illusory energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For in spite of having obtained your association, which gives liberation from material bondage, I did not seek such liberation. And also in the third canto, Kapila Dev instructed his mother Devahuti with these words, Tasmad imang swang prakriting diving sad asad atmikam durvibhavyang parabhavya sarupena vatishtate. The yogi can thus be in the self-realized position only after conquering the insurmountable spell of Maya, who presents herself as both cause and effect of this material manifestation, and therefore it is very difficult to understand. In the 7th canto, Sri Prahlad prayed to Nrsingadev, Trastosmi ahang kripana vatsala dusahogra sangsara chakra kadanad grasadang pranita badhasva karma bir ushatamate angri mulam prito pravarga sharanang havyastase kadanu. O most powerful, insurmountable Lord, you are known as being kind to the fallen souls. But I have been put into the association of demons as a result of my past activities. And therefore, I am very much afraid of my condition of life within this material world. So, when will that auspicious moment come when you call me to the shelter of your lotus feet, which are the ultimate goal for liberation from conditional life? Also, in the 10th canto, we find the following. After offending Krishna and the residents of Vraja by sending torrents of rain for 7 days and 7 nights, Indradev offered this prayer to Krishna when he realized that he had been defeated, and he knew that he had to personally come and beg forgiveness for his offenses. This is one of the prayers Indradev offered to the 7-year-old Krishna. Tata gurustwang jagatam adhisho duratyaya kala upata danda hitaya chechcha tanubi samihase manang vidunvan jagad isha maninam. My dear Lord Krishna, you are the Father and spiritual master of this entire universe, and you are also its supreme controller. You are insurmountable time, imposing punishment upon the sinful for their own benefit. Indeed, in your various incarnations, selected by your own free will, you act decisively in order to remove the false pride of those who presume themselves masters of this world. Also in the 10th canto, when Akrura was taking Krishna and Balaram from Vrindavan to Mathura, the gopis cried out, Yasyanuraga lalita smita valgu mantra Lilavaloka parirambana rasa goshtam Nitasmana kshanang iva kshanada venatang Gopya katang nu atitarema tamodurantam. The gopis cried, O Krishna, when you brought us to the assembly of the Rasa dance, where we enjoyed your affectionate and charming smiles, your delightful secret talks, your playful glances, and your embraces, we passed through many nights as if they were a single moment. Oh, how can we possibly cross over the insurmountable darkness of your absence, dear Krishna? Also, in Canto 11, the Brahmana from Avanti Desh resolved when he took sannyas, Etang sa astaya paratma nishtam adyasitang purvatamayar maharshabihi ahang dharishyami durantaparang tamo mukundangri nashevayaiva. I shall cross over the insurmountable ocean of nations by being firmly fixed in the service of the lotus feet of Krishna. This was approved by the previous acharyas who were fixed in firm devotion to the Lord, Param Atma, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that last quote was also spoken when Lord Chaitanya took sannyas and he was on his way to Jagannath Puri. After taking sannyas, he visited his mother, and then from there he went on to Jagannath Puri, where he lived the remainder of his life. So on the way, he also chanted that shloka. So now it is time for the Nisringa prayers, and I'm dedicating these Nisringa prayers to a very, very close friend of mine, Lilavati Devi Dasi, who gave her body last night on Vamana Dwadasi, surrounded by her loving family. And if you read on Facebook what they have written, it's there on my Facebook page. The description of how they spent the whole day yesterday praying and chanting, preparing her for that last journey. And she gave up her body in front of her deities, which she had worshipped throughout her life. And there's no doubt, as Prabhupada would often say, that if one dies by hearing the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, certainly they're going back home, back to Godhead. So I'd like to dedicate these Nisringa prayers to my old friend who I knew from 1994, Lilavati Devi Dasi, disciple of His Holiness Bhakti Churu Swami Maharaj. May she be situated at the lotus feet of Krishna. Namaste Narasimhaya Prahlad Ahlad Dayane Hiranya Kashi Puravaksha Shilatanka Nakalaye Ito Nrsinga Parato Nrsingo Yato Yato Yamitato Nrsinga Bahir Nrsinga Hridaye Nrsingo Nrsingham Ading Sharanang Prapadye Tavakara Kamala Varai Nakam Adbhuta Sringam Dalita Hiranya Kashipu Tanu Bringam Keshavadrita Narahadi Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Keshavadrita Nrsinga Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadish Jaya Jagadish Jai Jagadisha Hare Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.